Have you been scrolling through hundreds of synopses just to find that one movie or TV show that's actually worth watching? Well, we got you covered. Starting this week, every weekend, we'll be suggesting some hidden gems from around the world. So, without any delay, let's jump into the video. Today, we are recommending 7 movie and anime picks from different countries. And remember, these movies are not arranged in any ranking order. Hunger. This film feels like MasterChef, but with far more intensity and drama. The story follows a young female chef who works at her family's small, local Thai fried noodles restaurant. However, she isn't satisfied with staying there. She dreams of becoming one of the greatest chefs in the country. One day, she gets the opportunity to work for one of Thailand's most renowned chefs. But the journey isn't easy. He's extremely tough, and the cooking environment is absolutely brutal. With intense passion, fierce cooking battles, and an engaging screenplay, the film beautifully captures her rise from a small restaurant cook to one of the top chefs in the country. But in this process of success and ambition, she loses many things, including her true self. I randomly came across this movie and ended up binge-watching it, and I absolutely loved it. Hunger is available on Netflix, and it's available in English too.
We all live together, but we're not related.
This is Gracefield House, a place for children without parents.
However, a single truth turned our world upside down.
A uniform,
The ID numbers,
Tests that are held every day.
a forbidden gate.
a surrounding fence,
A rule keeping us
a
inside.
hidden design to our lives.
You're both going to die!
The Promised Neverland. This horror anime takes place in a dystopian world. Children are raised as orphans inside a closed facility. Everything looks peaceful and perfect, until 2 of the brightest kids, Emma and Norman, notice something strange. Children above the age of 12 get adopted, but none of them ever return or stay in contact. Curious to know the truth, they secretly follow one of the adopted children, and what they discover is terrifying. These kids are not being adopted at all. They are being bred and groomed to become food for monsters. The orphanage is actually a farm, a supply chain to provide human brains to demons. After learning this horrifying truth, the children plan to escape, but the entire forest is surrounded by tight security and monsters guarding every exit. How they attempt to break out, and whether they succeed or not, forms the core of this anime. The Promised Neverland is available on Netflix and Crunchyroll. Parking. This film has one of the strangest storylines you'll ever come across. The story revolves around 2 egoistic individuals. The first is a newly married man, Eshwar, who has just moved into his new home with his wife. The other is an elderly government employee who has been living in the same building for many years. Things start off well between the two, but the tension begins when Eshwar brings home a new car, and the building doesn't have enough parking space. What begins as a small argument over a parking spot soon turns into a full-blown ego battle, escalating to a point where both men are ready to destroy each other. It's a crazy, intense film, and an absolute must-watch. You won't regret watching it. On paper, the story might look simple, but it's anything but that. Parking is available on Disney Plus and Amazon Prime, depending on your location.
Mom! I will change my destiny!
Ne Zha 2. You must have already heard about this Chinese animated movie which rocked the box office recently. This film is rooted deeply in Chinese culture and mythology. Even if you haven't watched the first part, you can still enjoy the sequel, but I still recommend watching part 1 first. The movie does a good job of re-establishing most of the conflict points in the same film itself. It picks up exactly from where the first movie ended. Ne Zha and his friends' souls are alive, but their bodies were destroyed after the final battle. Now Ne Zha and his friend are reborn. But there is a twist. They both end up sharing one single body. Neja then embarks on an adventure to obtain the elixir, but they face many challenges, including the mighty forces of the Dragon King and other mystical powers. He must now fight both external enemies and his own internal identity, as someone born from demonic origin, yet striving for a heroic purpose. The animation quality is outstanding, and even though the story can sound complex on paper, the film presents it in a clear and understandable way. This film is not available for streaming yet. You have to rent it.
지원을 했다고.
언니. 방금 뭐라고 하셨어?
Pilot. If you are in a mood to relax and watch something fun, then you must check out Pilot, a laugh-out-loud Korean comedy. The story follows Jung-woo, a very popular pilot in Korea. But after one of his sexist comments goes viral, he loses his job and no airline wants to hire him again because of his bad reputation. Things become even worse when his wife divorces him. With no options left, Jung-woo takes a desperate step to save his career. He completely changes his identity, transforms himself into a woman, and starts applying for jobs again. This time he gets hired, and surprisingly, he suddenly becomes extremely popular as the airline's new female model. How he manages his life from that point, balancing his secret and pretending to be a woman, creates some truly hilarious moments. Pilot is a fun, lighthearted comedy that delivers a lot of laughs. The film is available on Netflix, but only in limited regions, so you might need to use the internet wisely to track it down. Raw. This film is a mix of psychological thriller and body horror. The story follows Justine, a young student who has been vegetarian her whole life. But during a school initiation ritual, she is forced to eat raw meat for the first time. That single bite triggers an unexpected craving inside her, and slowly she starts experimenting with different kinds of meat. Things escalate quickly, and she eventually develops an uncontrollable desire for human flesh. Her journey becomes darker and more disturbing as she struggles to hold herself back from impulses she cannot control. This film is definitely not for everyone. If you don't like body horror or disturbing imagery, stay away from this one. But if you are a fan of intense and unsettling cinema, and you enjoy movies like The Menu or The Substance, then Raw is a must-watch. This film is available on Prime Video.
Por favor, abróchense cinturones.
¿Sabemos dónde estamos? Cuando no tenés comida y te estás muriendo.
Si no comemos nos vamos a morir. ¿Comer qué?
Society of the Snow. This survival thriller received massive international appreciation, and honestly, I would call this film a masterpiece. It is an absolute must-watch. The story is based on the real tragic events of the 1972 Andes flight crash. There were 45 passengers on board, but only 29 survived the initial impact. From there, things only get worse. Day by day, because of injuries, hunger, freezing temperatures, and the harsh conditions around them, the number of survivors keeps going down. With no food, no help, and no way out, the remaining survivors are forced to take extremely brutal decisions, including cannibalism, just to stay alive. Society of the Snow is one of the most gripping and emotionally powerful survival thrillers ever made. If you still haven't watched it, go check it out on Netflix. Please watch all the movies we suggested, and if you enjoyed our recommendations, come back and subscribe. Together, let's break the 1-inch barrier of subtitles. We are Non-Hollywood, your one-stop destination for movie and TV show suggestions from across the globe. See you in the next video.